It's Fort Worth. What do they have? Let's be real. We've all been to Fort Worth and going, what are we doing here?
They got the stockyards.
A lot can happen in a week. Some of it good, some of it bad, some of it downright ugly. When faced with intriguing developments in the week's news, we turn to a rotating panel of non-experts to parse the good, the bad, and the ugly of it all. On today's panel, Mustafa Tameez, media and public affairs consultant and the CEO of Outreach Strategists, Vivian Ho, health economist at Rice University and Baylor College of Medicine, and Natalie Arceneaux, president of Arceneaux International Consulting. Mustafa, Vivian, Natalie, welcome to Houston Matters.
Howdy.
Thanks, Craig.
Good to be back.
Panel, it's an all-World Cup edition today. We begin with the news this week that Texas Attorney General and GOP Senate candidate Ken Paxton has opened an investigation into FIFA over its ticketing process. As the Texas newsroom's Lucio Vasquez reported Tuesday, Paxton announced he's looking into allegations FIFA misled some soccer fans over the quality of seats they've purchased. Texas joins New York, New Jersey, and California as officials in those states look into post-purchase seat location changes, as well as dynamic pricing and escalating ticket costs that far exceed past tournaments. FIFA says it's just adjusting to the North American market. Others allege it's the body that runs this tournament that they're price gouging. Some tickets are even being sold in the tens of thousands, and even the cheapest seats have priced out most fans. Of course, the Fan Fest east of downtown is free. Texas joins the states investigating FIFA over its ticketing policies as the World Cup begins here in Houston. Is this good, bad, or ugly, Mustafa?
Ugly! Look, just as you were speaking, we were looking at you going like, yeah, they're increasing the price because they're in the U.S., right? Like that's the whole element of this. And the one thing that I didn't understand is that the host cities and countries don't get any of the ticket fee. FIFA keeps all of it, right? And they've been doing that for the last several years. So, and if you look at their stuff, it's kind of like we do it because it's a global event and we're trying to manage the experience of the FIFA goers. Well, the experience has not been good in that matter, that you're increasing the pricing based on the geography that you're at. And I don't think that's fair because it's a global audience, people coming from everywhere. So that aside, I am excited about the games coming to town. There is a sense of a fun, and I think it's good for Houston in many ways. I don't think the numbers that are always projected in these things ever come true, right? There's always a hype about like what it'll do for the for the city. But we have hosted a lot of big games. We're becoming one of those meccas for sports. And I think that that's a cool thing for us to have as a city.
So at least when it comes to the games themselves, you are breathless with anticipation. Patient. Good, bad, or ugly, Vivian?
Yeah, this is pretty ugly. And, it's, as Mustafa said, it's super exciting. The U.S.-Mexico Center at the Baker Institute, they threw a terrific watch party yesterday. So I enjoyed that part. But FIFA is a monopoly. Mm-hmm. And they are engaging in price discrimination as well. And it's highly disturbing that the fact that the last round of the World Cup was in Qatar, and it was pretty clear that Qatar had bribed them, and that money is supposed to go towards promoting soccer and helping organizations that want to promote the game, and it just seems to go to their own pockets of the officials instead. So in a way, it is good that Ken Paxton is going after them. But in the article and the statement from their office, it's because the premium ticket holders are not getting access to the best seats in the stadium with the best views. And I'm kind of like, when is the Attorney General going to press a case that's going to benefit all Texans? And, because we've got plenty of problems with monopoly and a questionable behavior that affects the average Texan. And if that's not their priority, when is it going to happen?
Okay, good, bad, or ugly, Natalie?
So I don't know if it's ugly, as we've all said. But I will say this. The first thing that came to mind when I saw the story, I was like, Texas California, and New York. I was like, when does that trifecta ever happen? And I was like, wow, that's impressive and interesting.
And it certainly has to do with where the games are being played.
Well, yes, but I
obviously,
mean, Texas isn't usually too fond of hopping on anything that California or New York is doing. So I'm impressed that we even paid attention to it and didn't just say no because they're doing it. But look, the game 3 of the NBA Finals, cheapest seat was $11,000, most expensive seat was $110,000.
Wow.
It's part of the process of the games, of any game, right? Of any massive competition. And that's not even, I guess you could argue the NBA is global. They would say they were, but we don't really have a world championship for NBA or NFL or anything like that. So when you start talking about playing on the world stage, the whole notion of like dynamic pricing that seems, targeted to specific groups, may seem unfair and unequitable to those in different socioeconomic classes. I mean, that is just kind of par for the course of the games. And also, we're a capitalistic society. So
I want Natalie's tickets because she's got tickets. She's got money. Should I, now to Vivian's point, should our government be going after FIFA, or are there more pertinent things in Texas where we have monopolies that are happening that we might want to pay attention to? That, is a different. I have a question for Vivian. Like, is healthcare monopolies more like worse versus FIFA, or is FIFA worse than the healthcare monopolies?
Oh, well, interesting comparison. So I think the hospital consolidation is actually worse in terms of the damage that it's causing and the amount of money that's been being taken out of the pockets of your average citizen, because you don't have to buy a soccer ticket,
Correct.
Right? But if you get sick, you have to have that health care. And the problem is the prices for inpatient care being charged by hospitals, they're making massive profits. So that's a good point.
When you're below FIFA, that's bad. That's ugly.
Panel, one last second tweak had to be made Wednesday before the opening of the FIFA World Cup Fan Fest in Edo. Apparently, a display read, "Welcome to Houston," right next to what appeared to be the official flag of not Texas, but the country of Chile. KHOU reported a viewer reached out after seeing it at a FanFest preview event. FIFA wound up taking the sign down. It is perhaps a somewhat forgivable mistake. The flags are very similar. Same color scheme, same white star, but the Chilean flag star is located in the upper left amid a small blue square and sports a larger red stripe covering the entire bottom half, while the Texas flag's blue is a vertical stripe down the left side with the white star in the center and a smaller red stripe along the bottom to its right. Welcome to Chile. Texas. Whoops. Is this good, bad, or ugly? Vivian?
Well, I actually think it was good. I'm really impressed that someone noticed it so quickly. I'm so embarrassed. I lived in Houston, in Texas for more than 20 years. I would have made the same mistake. The flags are similar. And, and it's not even like I know if you ask me, what does the flag of Chile look like? So good that someone noticed it and they got it corrected quickly.
All right. Good, bad, or ugly? Natalie Arceneaux.
Yeah, I mean, I agree on that note that good. Somebody noticed it, yes, because the flags are quite similar, and I'm a native-born Texan. Again, it's FIFA, and it's their event. If they want to wave the New Zealand flag, I'm like, what are we talking about here? People it's their event. Whether. Yes, I would love for a Texas flag to fly, but it's also not our event necessarily.
The suggestion was made on the socials, maybe they intended to display the flag of Chile as one of the participants, except Chile's not participating.
Yeah, well, yes, that's true. But they might just have an affinity for Chile. It's a beautiful country.
Okay, good, bad, or ugly, Mustafa?
We've all been to, Latin America, South America, and you come back, you're a little disoriented. So it's red, white, and confused, right? So the flags are red, white, and confused, and that's okay. I think I think things like this happen. What's the nice part about it, though, is that there's the fun element of this thing. I think you're seeing a little bit of fun stories, fun things coming out in town as FIFA happens. So I would just say, for all of us, as we begin to endure this crazy traffic, this really hot weather with lots of new people coming into town, right? That you take a little bit of fun. Pretend like you're New Yorkers and the Knicks are winning.
Okay, I don't know if we want to get into the NBA of it all. Panel, World Cup games in Houston and Dallas as well are bringing both domestic and international travelers to Texas, as Mustafa just suggested. And while they're here, they may want to sample the best of what the Lone Star State has to offer. That is why, starting next week and continuing for a month on non-game days, Trinity Metro Cowtown visitor shuttles will provide rides from Fort Worth's Central Station and some downtown stops in Fort Worth to some true cultural touchstones. I speak of Six Flags, the Fort Worth Zoo, an outlet mall, and, yeah, of course, Buc-ee's. In a statement, Visit Fort Worth President and CEO Mitch Whitten says his city, quote, offers visitors an experience distinct from any other city in the region. I don't know how far he extends the definition of region, but a zoo, a mall, a theme park, and a giant gas station selling brisket in Texas is not that distinctive. Nevertheless, as the Cron's Chasen Gordon reported this week, that's where shuttles are headed every half hour on non-game days. Is this good, bad, or ugly, Natalie?
I mean, I think it's good that folks are coming in from all over the world, and they are going to get exposed to some. Buc-ee's arguably is a very Texas thing. Many people come here and want to see it, and they're amazed by, just the one in Katy has the longest car wash, I think, in the country or something crazy like that. So, I mean, I think, could there be other more memorable things that were added that were more historical in context? Probably. Also, there are some better barbecue stops to go to than Buc-ee's, probably. But again, I think it's just the novelty of it all. And, when you're from another place and you're trying to figure out where to go, it kind of helps for someone to curate some of your experiences a bit. So, it's good, I suppose. Maybe.
All right. Good, bad, or ugly, Mustafa?
It's Fort Worth. What do they have? Let's be real. We've all been to Fort Worth and gone, what are we doing here?
They got the stockyards.
Look, I think there's a friend of mine that Buc-ee's given opportunity to as they were growing, and he's done just really great with them. So I have a soft spot for Buc-ee's for that. Other than that, I remember growing up in New York, and every time somebody came to our house visiting, we had to go to the Empire State Building, and we had to go to the Statue of Liberty, and a lot of times we had to drive all the way to see the Niagara Falls. Right? It was just kind of like, and after a while, as a kid, it was just like, here we go again. We're going to Empire State Building, and here we go again. And it was just like nonstop of like people coming, visiting from overseas, and we're taking them to these same places over and over again. I just can't imagine some child that lives in Fort Worth that has to keep going to Buc-ee's because his parents get visitors and they keep driving to Buc-ee's just to show them. Had a pretty good childhood, I think.
All right. Good, bad, or ugly, Vivian?
Yeah, it's pretty ugly. I mean, I love Buc-ee's, but it's the idea you go on the road trip and you get to stop at Buc-ee's. It's not Buc-ee's as a destination. And I understand if you have a bunch of Europeans visiting, it's not like you want to tell them to go to our museums because Europe has just way better museums than we do. But I don't know, Great Wolf Lodge, like they don't have water parks like we have in Texas. Maybe they could do that instead.
I kind of wonder if maybe they were saying, yes, we're making all this available and pitching it as this is on non-game days, here's what international travelers can do. But in reality, what they're saying is this is a service that's available to anybody that's in Fort Worth. Maybe our residents just want to ride to the outlet mall.
That, and I would have also thought HEB or Central Market as a.
Oh,
I mean,
fair point. Other options.